we?
Okay. All right.
Are we rolling? Are we? Cam is sneaky, man.
What's good? Oh wait.
Ooh.
I forgot about the whole thing.
It's haunted out
I
here.
haven't been in here in so long. What's up, guys? Oh. It's haunted out here. We are back. Sorry for the delay. Try to do it at the house. That didn't work out. So back in the building. And today's episode is all about you guys. So we'll be reading all the stories that you guys sent me via email. It's hauntedouthere@gmail.com. Spelled exactly the way you would think. And I'm excited.
You excited
I'm excited
to get these stories, man?
I feel like things haven't been spooky for me lately, and I'm like really sad about it.
Good, man.
No, I miss it.
I don't want no spookiness at the crib.
I look crazy in that camera.
But you got on the teddy bear skin.
I got the teddy bear fur. You know what I'm saying? Out here, it's soft, guys. I have it in every color, but now this black one is my favorite. So, and it has pockets.
She wore this jacket in the gym, yo.
I
did. The gym
I was
on a cardio machine.
Cardio machine
Oh, that's
with
ridiculous.
my teddy bear fur looking insane. Why is your camera so clear?
Cause man, everything about me is just clear. Even my sodium intake.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
What's scary right now is that we have to start cooking stuff with no salt at the house. Tony has to lower his sodium intake by a lot. Which isn't really hard.
No, that's not that hard.
It's not hard when I cook at home, but like
going out,
we
I can't monitor the sodium.
Yeah, there's only one place we can go to, and it's this Mexican spot called Lenore, I believe it's called.
Oh yeah, and North Hollywood.
It's a Mexican restaurant, but they don't use salt, which is good. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, ugh, but like for situations like this, now we have an option.
Are you gonna stay alive, or is the food gonna taste good? You got to make the choice. I'm always choose life over the food, even though I love it. Even though he said, you get no more peanuts,
no more peanut butter,
no more rice and beans together.
I know. Oh, that was the worst when he said no.
He said that I was devastated.
No rice and beans.
Because I'm Caribbean and Asian at heart.
You live with a Caribbean woman who loves to cook. Well, I can't make Tony like my traditional Caribbean stuff because he won't really eat it. Like he won't eat tostones and stuff like that because you gotta like fry them, so he won't eat it. But yeah, I can't make rice and beans anymore. That sucks. Oh no.
But separately though.
Wait, but you might have to take the L this weekend.
Why?
Because you'll be in Tampa. And somebody plans on surprising you with food.
Yeah. Just tell her the situation.
She's just not going to.
Tell her the situation,
my mom's
man.
going to still. Well, she's going to make you sancocho.
What is that, rice and beans?
Sancocho usually is eaten with rice. It's the stuff that we had last time. It was the soup.
It was so good.
But I'll tell her no rice. It's going to taste.
There's no point. Just tell her, just never mind.
No. She's excited about cooking for you. All right, guys.
Anyway,
I'm gonna start with this story.
Let's get back to the creepiness.
That is creepy. So the first story is by Kim. I almost said her full name, but in the end of the email it says please withhold full name. Y'all need to write that in the beginning because I would have slipped up. And it says, "Hi. Years ago, I lived in an older 2-story duplex in North Carolina with a roommate. We were really excited about it, even though it was a total dump. Water problems, flickering lights, large flying roaches, no AC. Girl, that's a lot. It was cheap, and we were both broke, so we dealt with it. Shortly after moving in, the guy who lived next door moved out, and we started hearing footsteps and someone walking up and down the stairs at night. We checked around that side the next day, and all the doors and windows were locked. Other things would happen, like a lamp that was in the middle of the table fell off. A vase, I say vase, was knocked off a shelf. One night, my roommate was hanging out with her friend and listening to music when static came through the speaker and then screaming. That's terrifying. That's like, no. This was a CD, and this was a CD that she listened to all the time.
Oh, hell no.
It was not a part of the music. Her Catholic mom thought there was a demon in the house. My Catholic mom said, I watched too many horror movies. Later on, a new neighbor moved in. I mentioned it to her that the place could be kind of creepy. She said that she sensed that. We became friends, and one late night when we got back, we looked in her bedroom window from the street, and there was someone looking out at us. No.
What?
Nope.
Hell
You
no.
randomly look in like your neighbor's window, and they're just waiting.
No, you randomly look in your window.
No.
I thought she said her bedroom.
Hold on. Let me go back. We became friends. And one late night, we got back and we looked in her. Oh, she was with her. Okay. In her bedroom window from the street. And there was someone looking out at us. Yeah. Oh, so she was with
your bedroom.
That's scary.
Somebody in the window like they belong in your bedroom.
That's so scary.
Hell no.
Nah. She decided to run inside and stood at the bottom of the stairs while I called the cops. She ran in there. They looked around and they couldn't find anyone. They checked the doors, windows, and the attic, and there was nothing. One of the cops asked if the place was haunted. Really? A cop asked that?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's good.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good cop. Because usually cops are like, oh,
well, there's an explanation for everything, man.
Sure, it's not an
I'll take you down to the precinct. We'll ask questions there.
Right. The last incident I remember was after my neighbor's cat died. Oh, rest in peace, cat. Since it was an older place that had connected water, you could hear what was going on the next door through the bathroom sink. I heard what sounded like someone sobbing hysterically. I called her, but she didn't answer. I saw her at work an hour later and asked if she was okay because I'd hear what sounded like someone sobbing hysterically. I called her, but she didn't answer. I saw her at work. Oh, wait, hold on. I just went back to the old. I'm messing up, guys. She looked at me weird, and she said she's been at work all day. We just joked that it was a ghost. The ghost was too sad. I've tried very hard to think of logical explanations for the entire thing, and I can't 100% think of anything that it was really. Wait, and I can't say that 100% that it was really a haunting, but it was eerie. I'm sorry that I fumbled that whole thing. Is that this font is so small. That's scary. At least it wasn't her house though.
Man.
Her apartment.
She experienced a lot.
That's a lot.
I'm like, hell no. On so many levels.
Right.
That scene, seeing somebody in your bedroom looking out at you.
Nah.
Man, listen.
No thanks.
You know. Go to the scent, your scent thing, whatever you sent to me.
These are the ones that
you sent to me.
Oh, whoops.
I'll do the Ghost of Demon joint.
Okay.
First. Ghost of Demon. Ghost of Demon. I'm about to read out loud, y'all. I feel like we're in elementary school again.
Oh, there we go. That's what I was trying to do for you.
About to read out loud. Here we go, yeah. You know what I'm saying? What if y'all found out I couldn't read right here and now? Here and now. Shout out to Luther Vandross. I wonder if he haunts anything. Luther Vandross.
Oh wait, it wasn't Luther Vandross.
I wonder if he's a ghost out here.
I was just recently watching a video about like people haunting, and Miles Davis apparently.
Miles Davis is out here.
Not only does he haunt people, but he like helps people.
Oh, that's dope, man.
Like people will be like going through like distressful, like whatever, like they'll be going through something, and then they'll see his like ghost, and it'll like protect them or whatever.
Man, Miles Davis, man, this is how he talk.
I was like, okay,
he had the driest voice of all time, but his horn.
Oh right.
Man. All right, so I don't know if you want me to say your name, Jelana, but I just said it. Here we go. I'm reading a scary story, y'all. Here we go. You know what I mean? All right, so this happened when I was attending high school in Seattle, Washington. Shout out to Seattle, Washington, one of my favorite cities, okay? My family and I were living in this 3-story house that gave us all the creeps. On the first floor, there were little doors that led to a storage space, parentheses, unnecessary. The second floor was broken down with way too many windows. Now, the third floor, or the basement, was absolutely haunted. Okay. Unfinished rooms, except one in the far right corner. Multiple refrigerators with unidentified objects in them.
Whoa.
That's creepy. Our washer and dryer and the ghosts or demons, I don't know. So at some point, my grandmother moved in with us and stayed in the one slightly finished room in the basement. Now, because the floors are wood, I guess the sound carries well through the house, or at least from the basement into my room that I share with my older sister. One night, my sister and I were having a conversation until I heard my grandma call me by name from the basement. I walked to the hallway, turned on the light, and opened the basement door. There was no light on in the basement at all because the light switch for the basement was at the bottom of the stairs. I called out to my grandmother to see what she needed, to which there was no response. I closed the door and locked the basement door. First of all, why you close the door and lock the basement door with your grandmother down there?
Right.
Like, you just lock your grandmother in the basement? That alone is like creepy right there. What is it? Can she get out from the other side? Like, I'm confused. So I closed and locked the basement door and walked into the living room to find my grandmother asleep, knocked out to the point that I had to tap her a few times to wake her up.
Wow.
When she did wake up, she said, "I obviously didn't call you. I've been asleep." Yo. Who called her from the basement, and why did it take on her grandmother's voice?
Because she knew that she would respond.
Because demons, they try to get you with the familiarity.
Yeah, familiarity.
They be like, let's go for the familiars.
Right.
And your grandmother's calling you.
Right.
Yo.
That's terrifying.
That's creepy as hell. I want to know why she locked the door, though, if grandma's was down there.
I mean, she probably felt it. Like, oh, this ain't it. You know what I mean? Like, this can't be her.
That's creepy, man. You open the door, it's dark in the basement. First of all, when you look down into a dark basement, that's already creepy enough.
Yeah.
You like, especially now, if the basement has those steps where you can get your ankle grabbed from the underneath. Those are the those are the kind of steps my grandmother had in her house. Like where you can grab the ankle through the steps.
Nope.
Hated those steps.
Yeah, I don't like that. Even as an adult, I'm like, I don't like this.
Those steps, they be waiting. And if it's Pet Cemetery down there, they'll scalpel your ankle.
So I've always been scared of somebody cutting.
Yeah.
Like the Achilles heel. Like,
whoo!
I've always been scared that I'm going to get super like.
Slice,
just from anything.
Slice just
from
right.
Anything.
Because they made that slice in Pet Cemetery look so thorough.
Oh, my God. I hated it.
Oh, it was cringy.
The
first
one.
The original.
The
Pet
original,
Cemetery.
yeah. Let's just.
Yeah.
Because now we have to
second
say that.
one, it's just.
Second one wasn't.
Nobody's talking about that.
Right.
But, man, that's a creepy story.
Oh.
And I've been like, you've been here the whole time, Grandma? Yes, boy, hush.
And that's a really common thing that happens with people. Like, they'll hear a familiar voice and they're like.
Yeah.
They're like,
do you ever hear your name being called by a voice that sounds like your own?
My own? I've heard my name being called when I was alone, but never responded.
Yeah, I never responded either.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna lay down now.
But I would hear like a quick, a couple times it sounded like my brother, but like usually it kind of sounds like me at a distance.
Really?
And I just be like.
That's so. What if you go and it's you?
Like, well, what you want from me?
It's like the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah. It's like, you've been calling me the whole. I've been calling you for years. You never answered. I didn't know.
That's I never reply, and I hear it, and sometimes I'll hear like a voice, like a name or whatever, and it sounds so close.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, nah. But it sounds so like quiet.
Yeah.
It'll be like.
It's like a whisper.
It'll be like, Sabrina.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, no. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah. The whisper is creepy.
Oh, whispering is terrifying. That's one of the funniest jokes we do, I think.
Story. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so this one is from Renee. Username live through this. LIVV through this. She says, hi there. Huge fan of you two, and I responded to Sabrina. Insta story. Okay. Whether or not my story is featured, I like sharing it. Oh, well, girl, here it is. It's being featured. I have more supernatural experiences as well. and can dive into those another time. While I love all things spooky, I always try to rationalize what is happening, which is as you should.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Sometimes I can, sometimes I cannot. I have changed the names in the story. Very smart, because I was going to say everything as is. I used to babysit for several families when I was attending Georgia State University in Atlanta, Georgia. At one point, I had a whole subdivision in Decatur, Georgia on lock. So it wasn't unusual for other parents to reach out to me to sit for their children. One day I agreed to watch a couple of kids, Jake and Bella, and they were fun kids, and I frequently sat with them when their parents went on date nights. I did the same thing. When I arrived on this particular night, they had a friend over named JJ. Wendy, the mother of Jake and Bella, explained that JJ would be staying the night and asked me to watch him as well. I agreed, and I met a quirky little 5-year-old kid who couldn't quite say his R's, oh that's cute, correctly, and politely referred to me as Miss Wone instead of Renee.
Yeah, Wone.
Wone. That's cute. We enjoyed our evening. I left when Wendy and her husband came home. A few days later, I received a voicemail from JJ's father. It was very crackly and sounded like there was a poor reception, but essentially he said that he would like to speak with me about watching JJ, and he left a local phone number. When I dialed it, it said it was disconnected. I was scheduled to watch Bella and Jake that evening. I walked in and greeted their father, John. He was hugging and holding Jake from behind around his shoulders. I started to speak. Hey, I got a call from JJ's dad asking me to watch JJ, but when I dialed the number, it was disconnected. Do you have a good contact number for them? As I was uttering this sentence, John's eyes got wide and he started making the cutthroat gesture to tell me to stop speaking and was mouthing the words no. I was confused, but little Jake blurted out, JJ's dad is in heaven. Oh. Whoa. I was a little flustered, but brushed it off and figured I must have misheard the voicemail. I listened again the next day to clarify who was speaking and about whom. The person speaking clearly said JJ and mentioned that I had watched JJ before at John and Wendy's house. She has in quotes. You can leave this next part out if you want, but just giving context at this point. Anyways, fast forward to the next week when I actually met JJ's mother, Anne. She was picking up JJ from a play date at the same time that I was arriving to begin watching Jake and Bella for the evening. Anne introduced herself and asked if it would be okay watching JJ one night while she goes on a date.
Oh.
I said I'd be glad to do it and never mentioned the voicemail. I would have mentioned the voicemail, but that's probably would have been. Well, she was going on a date, so she moved on. I would have mentioned the voicemail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been.
I'd have mentioned the voicemail.
I was like, and I'm glad
you know,
I got you
your
here.
dead husband left me a message.
Right.
What?
I started to sit for JJ quite frequently, and I often stayed the night while Anne went on weekend trips with her boyfriend. Okay, she really moved on. They became like family to me, and Anne did disclose that JJ's father had passed away from cancer less than a year after JJ was born. JJ also had quite a few health issues and had endured many surgeries at his young age. As Anne put it, JJ's father took care of them with their life insurance policy, and they were able to build a brand new, beautiful home, which I frequent. It was mostly finished, but it could have used some more outdoor lighting. There was no porch light, and the street became quite dark at night. She also didn't have any curtains in the living room. What? So all I could see was a vast, dark backyard. That's terrifying.
Wow.
Just the darkness.
No.
Nah. I didn't like sitting beside those windows alone. I felt uncomfortable energy in the home more than once. And I especially hated going in the parlor/sitting room and the laundry room. The first strange thing that I noticed was the TV channels changing. When I put JJ to bed and was able to creep downstairs, I usually put something stupid and trashy that 20-year-olds like to watch. In fact, I remember I was watching Cheaters quite often. I would regularly check on JJ in his mom's room where he and I slept, as he was not used to sleeping on his own bed. I began to notice that the channel would change nearly every time I left to go upstairs and check on JJ. And remember that this was 10 to 12 years ago. So no Netflix, just cable. The first time I questioned if maybe I had accidentally sat on the remote or something, but it became a clear pattern. The channel would not change while I was watching it, but when I left the room, it would be on a cartoon channel when I returned. The child was sound asleep. I'm actually getting freaked out as I retell this. Right, because this is crazy. This is a long one, guys. Very long. Anyway, then things got a little more creepy. One of my duties as a babysitter was to make sure JJ got a bath. He'd like to play in the bath for a little while. So I let him do that for a while before I washed his hair and made sure he dried off and so forth. I never left him unattended in the tub for more than a minute or two, and I was always in the next room. On occasions, when he was putting on his pajamas on after the bath, he would say, "Miss Winay, I need some privacy, please." Oh, he's cute.
The R's.
Yeah. And I would agree and let him put on his PJs while I picked out our books for bedtime. One night, I was walking back in the bedroom after I picked out several books, and I started to enter the bathroom when I heard JJ talking. This was a little bit strange because he was a pretty quiet kid and didn't do imaginative play, but he liked to sing. No pretend cops or robbers, no crashing sounds when he played with his Legos. Man, this kid. Nothing. In fact, he would ask me to stop if I tried to make a toy talk. I listened through the door for a minute expecting to hear him singing. He liked Michael Jackson, and once he told me if I was married. I told him no, not yet, to which he responded, "What if you die all alone like Michael Jackson did?" Damn it, JJ.
Wow, JJ out there with the hard hitting.
Right. MJ had kids. Instead, I heard JJ laughing and saying, "Yeah, I want to do that." Then he paused and giggled some more, and no, I got to ask Mama. I entered the bathroom and JJ looked shocked, but also embarrassed. I said, "Who are you talking to, Jay?" He sheepishly said, "Nobody. Can I have some privacy, please?"
Wow. I don't like JJ's attitude.
Right. Now MJ died alone. Now he's got an attitude. Yeah. I was loving this kid before. The privacy, the one out the window. I agreed and closed the door. After about a minute, JJ began to speak again, but I could not make out what he was saying. I knocked. He got out the bath and we got into bed. That was the first night that JJ brought up his father to me. He told me flatly, "I don't have a daddy. He's dead."
Oh.
Damn, JJ out here.
Man.
I don't know why this is
JJ
funny.
with the hard hit. I don't have a dad. He's dead. Now read the goddamn story.
I started to drift off to sleep when I heard knocking at the front door. I thought I might have been dreaming, but then I heard it again. And JJ did too, because it woke him up. It was after midnight, and I said, "JJ, stay right here. I'm going to go close the door, and I don't want you to open it unless I come back and tell you to do so." JJ said, "No, Miss Winay, what if it's a robber?" I quickly said, "I'll be okay. It's not a robber. It's probably your mom." I hurried down the stairs, peeked through the peephole, and was met by darkness, and I cracked the door open, didn't see anybody.
Why would you?
I wouldn't even crack it open. That's like, that's...
If I don't see nothing, there's no door
open. You don't
opening.
crack it open.
That's first and foremost.
No one does that.
Nobody.
I mean, people do it, but we don't hear about them again.
No.
Where was I? Oh, cracked the door open, didn't see anybody. I opened it all the way and scanned the yard and yelled out, "Hello."
Yo, what are you doing?
Renee, honey.
This is a horror movie movement.
This is everything she's doing guarantees her death.
Man.
Guaranteed. And somehow she's going to end up topless, because in every horror movie.
Oh, she's definitely going to end up topless.
The babysitter
then
ends
the
up
boyfriend's
topless.
going to show up. They're going to be smashing in the living room. And then
they die.
While JJ is upstairs.
Every time. Okay, wait.
Yo, she wild for opening the door all the way and yelling out.
Yelled out, "Hello."
Absolutely.
No response.
Nope.
I was spooked, and I checked all of the doors to make sure they were locked. I went back upstairs to bed and got JJ back to sleep. I tried to tell myself that it could have been kids playing a prank, even though there was not another house within a short walking distance. JJ's mother arrived home the next morning. Wow. And that must have been a check. And I told her that someone had knocked, and Anne agreed that it was strange, and said that she needed to call and have the security system set up. After that evening, I was reluctant. I was reluctant to agree to babysit JJ overnight again, but I did.
Right. Oh, okay. Getting that money.
She did.
Get that money up.
I had one last strange occurrence.
Oh.
Anne had the backyard fenced in by that point, and there was a padlock to get in and out so that JJ could play in his sandbox outside, but he couldn't go to the road or outside of the backyard without assistance. The evening went well, and I put JJ to bed and came back downstairs. I sat in the living room and turned on Cheaters again. Man, she really liked Cheaters.
Cheaters is funny, man.
And tried to get comfortable despite the windows with no curtains and darkness outside. I felt uncomfortable and decided I would go to bed. I went to the fridge, grabbed a glass and some water to take with me, and went to check to make sure that the back door was locked. I saw a lit cigarette and smoke and could very faintly make the outline of a face but no body. What? I made a beeline for my cell to call 911, went and grabbed it, and by the time I turned around, I looked outside and nothing. I didn't see, smell, hear anything. I told myself that this had to have been my imagination, but with all of the events that stacked up, it was a wrap for me after that. I always booked when Anne called me to watch. Oh yeah, she was always booked when Anne called to watch JJ. I hope you enjoyed, but who knows what I saw and heard. It was creepy. Wish I had my old flip phone to see if I have the voicemail. Man, I want to hear that voicemail.
I want to hear that voicemail too.
I want to know if it's like clear. Does it have that like eerie? Because like I actually watched a video of like the dead leaving voicemails. Like people's loved ones would leave them a voicemail after they died.
Yeah.
And it's like it would always sound weird and like eerie.
Oh man, the cold part is I don't check voicemails.
Yeah, so
there'd be like somebody calling me up, be like, "I called you from the grave. You didn't get my voicemail." Like,
right.
I didn't know it was you.
Right.
A lot of times I look at the transcript now.
Right.
That's what I look at now. So it'd be like, "Yo, this your grandmother."
That's
creepy as hell, man.
Oh man! And as a nanny, since I've thought about it. I was like, so for people who don't know, I sometimes nanny Kev on stage's kids, and Kev's house, it doesn't really have a spooky vibe, but
there'd be noises over there.
Yeah, like at night, and also you can't see in his backyard, and the front of his house is so dark, like even the light that's right outside the door, you can't see anything. Like whenever we order food, it's spooky. Like you barely see the person walking up to the door at night. It's very creepy. Kev, you need lights in front of your house. I know you know this. You have to know this because it's very scary. That whole block is dark, actually.
It's a dark neighborhood for sure.
It's very dark.
And when I'm over there at night, I always make sure those blinds are closed that lead into the backyard.
Yeah, because you can't see anything.
Right. So I was like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm very big on like feeling watched. And
right.
What I'm saying? Like who's that? And the only reason I leave the blinds open in my place now is because I'm on the second floor.
Right.
But even across the way, like when you said that dude was standing there,
yeah.
I've been closing them up at night. Because I want to leave them open now because the cats like to be in the window now.
Right.
But before that, I was like, close them joints. That's why I don't like houses with a lot of windows and you can see all up in the house. Even though they're nice houses, I'll be like, nah, it's too... I gotta have stuff shut.
I love natural light, but
I love natural light too. That's the thing.
It has to.
But at night,
yeah, it has to come with curtains.
Shut it down. Yeah. Shut it down, shout it.
So there's an apartment building right across from like our front door and where the window is, and I've seen a guy. Like it looked like he was going into his apartment, but he just stopped in front of his door and looked straight into the window at me. And when you look into the window, you see our whole living room. Like you see everything.
Yeah.
So he was just there. And I clearly see him because it's not that far. Like the other apartment is not that far. So I looked. I was like, let me just pretend to play with the cats. Oh, I mean, I was really playing with the cats, pretend petting them and stuff. They're probably like, what the hell?
Like,
touch
why are you
me.
doing this? Yeah.
And yeah, he was there for like a minute. So I was like, I'm going to go back inside. And it isn't the first time I've seen him. So
That's good. Have you seen him since?
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him a few times. He doesn't stop though like that. Like sometimes he'll stop and look, but then he goes inside. Yeah, and I hear him so clearly with the keys. The keys are so like.
What's his usual time frame?
6, 8.
6 and 8.
And sometimes in the morning, if like I'm
gonna try to hang out around that time just to see.
Yeah.
If I see him, then I'm gonna stare at him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna creep him out.
Right.
Yeah, just be like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it obvious that I'm looking at him too. Just.
Yeah.
And then I want to stand on his porch.
And then what's crazy is that his window, they can still look. Like if he's standing a certain way, his window can look
into the living room,
into our house. It's a very weird setup over there, but
yeah, it is.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of apartments that are like stacked on top of each other where we live, and
it's weird.
Let me find you a short. We're gonna do one more story. Oh, this is my homegirl Amanda.
I could do that story. Is this the one I read before?
Yeah, you read this one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go, guys.
Last
story time, guys. This one's not going to be as long. That last one was a novel.
It was a novel.
That was a short story.
Damn.
Winnie. It could be Wobbers. I feel bad for JJ, though, man.
JJ just.
But she was freaked out.
I get it.
Would you have quit?
No, because I'm so intrigued. I would. So I've been in a house where somebody's father was like haunting it, and that I was like, okay, it's your dad. I feel comfortable. Like I feel like your dad.
You know the source of the ghost. And
and if my intentions aren't bad with the person,
right?
It's like because if I was gonna like screw the person over, I'd be like, your dad's haunted. I'm out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
no way. He ain't gonna let me finish my play.
Yeah, like if you're a trash person and somebody's loved one is haunting them, don't continue to be a trash person because it's not gonna work out. They coming for you.
Yeah. I think ghosts need to intervene more on infidelity.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you about to cheat, you about to smash, the ghosts just be posted up right there on the couch. And that'll shut the party down. Every time I come to your house, man, there's a ghost in there. Well, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. And then boom.
Go into the ear of either one of them.
Mm-hmm. You know you shouldn't be doing this. Oh, God, no. We shouldn't be doing this.
You know he hasn't got tested in so long.
Just be hating on the whole thing.
He has herpes.
If I was a ghost, I'd be hating on cheaters. I'd just be like, don't do this. It's not worth it. Herpes, dog. Anyway, so this story comes from She's Your Hero on IG. That's her name. She's one of my great followers.
She's great.
Yeah. She's Your Hero. Okay, here we go. It was during my last relationship that I've encountered this spirit, which I should mention is one of many. I am a medium, sort of, so I just don't know how to control my gift. I digress. My ex stayed with his mom, who stayed in the basement of this house, and I used to go and visit. For a few days, I decided to spend the night. While I was spending the night, I just felt super, super uneasy waking up in the middle of the night, going to the bathroom in the dark, which is understandable.
Yeah.
This happened for the next couple nights. It was a serious, heavy feeling as though someone was watching. I would rush to the bathroom and then rush back just for my safety and fear. One night, lights on, me and my ex were at the kitchen table sitting, playing a card game. I'm going to just say it was Uno just because that's the first thing came to mind. It was like blue, you know what I'm saying? The table was like maybe 3 feet away from the sink and the counter when all of a sudden there was this glass Pyrex dish that sat there, room temperature, exploding into small pieces. It just exploded. Crazy. I ducked because I didn't know what happened, and to only look up and see glass all over the floor, even past us. I was just like, what the fuck just happened? So I looked at the counter and noticed that the thick Pyrex baking dish shattered into 1,000 pieces. I immediately felt anger, and it hit me all at once. It was a warning. He didn't want me there and for me to leave. I told him in the open, like, listen, I get it, but you don't have to do that. This was a bit much, and that they don't need to get my attention like that. I said that man doesn't want me here. He wants me to leave. I explained that to my ex, that a man whose picture is displayed in the living room was the man who broke that dish. He was a relative of the people who lived upstairs, and he was trying to warn me that I should leave. We cleaned up, and I told his mom what happened, and she didn't care. She was all lost. But that night, upon going out to use the bathroom at 3-something, the witching hour.
The witching hour.
3 o'clock in the morning. 3 in the morning, he stood next to the case where his picture was, and I saw him, and he told me again, I need to leave because it's not safe. I just politely hurried up and went back to the room. So she saw him this time.
Right.
Next to the picture, like, you know how when you take a picture and you point to the person next to you in the picture?
Right.
Like, this
my
guy.
dad does that all the time.
So he was like, to his own picture, this guy is telling you to get the hell out of here. And I'm dead. Okay. That morning when I woke up, I packed my things and left because I know when they mean business. He was happy that I was leaving as well. I packed up and went home. The next couple of days, my ex told me that the cops raided the house and a bunch of other events happened where they took everything in the house. Guns going off in the house, a bunch of shit. The man legit warned me and saved me. I thank him for that. Needless to say, I didn't go back after he told me not to.
Right. And
what? See what happens when you follow directions?
Right.
When you follow when the ghosts pull up and tell you what to do,
right?
Listen.
Especially if it's not your house. Like if you didn't just move somewhere. Because when a ghost says, get out, and it's like a house you just bought, it's like, no, honey.
It's hard to leave. You already made the payments. You put the money down. I get it.
Yeah, and it's more like of a territorial thing. I'd be like, listen, honey, like.
Yeah, we in here now. We got good intentions. We're going to take care of the house. We don't need this.
Right. But if you're at somebody else's house and the ghost is like, I need you to leave.
Yeah.
It's not.
I have no problem leaving.
I'm like, noted.
I have no problem never coming back again.
Noted. I will never.
Yeah. There could be somebody you date and be like, how come you never visit me? Because a ghost literally said, don't come up in this mud.
Come.
So you come visit me, but I'm not going over there.
Right, because
you got a ghost up in there, I can't do it. Shoot. We smash and the ghost is watching.
What if that happened to us though? And they're telling us get out, but like mid-stroke.
Oh, mid-pump?
Like, you need to leave. Now?
In the moment, she's almost there.
Yeah, we're almost done. Hold on. Just step out.
Would you finish the smash?
What's the ghost look like?
Cam would finish the smash.
What does the ghost look like? Is it like...
It's a ghost telling you to leave mid-smash.
A regular person looking. It's not like they look dead and zombie-ish and stuff. Because depending on what they look like...
They look old school.
I might finish. They've seen a thing or two. There was nothing else to do but smash back in the day, so that's why. Like,
I'm out, man.
Oh, really? You pulling out? And I'll be like, wait, no.
I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I might get a couple more pumps in, but just the initial sight of them, you already gone.
Yeah, I might.
You know what I'm saying?
I might dry up just because.
Yeah, somebody's watching.
Why is there a ghost in here?
It's like somebody catching you having sex. It's like, oh, you scramble.
It's not even just someone either.
Yeah, and they're in there.
Like, yeah. And no, even if you can't see them, they might still be in there.
Exactly.
That's the worst part.
So they're watching the whole time, guiding the pumps. Yeah.
I felt like that when my uncle first passed away. Mm-hmm. I felt weird doing anything with you because I felt like he was around. Yeah. And I was just like, all right, this is weird. Can you not? Like,
did you feel it during Smash?
I felt like somebody was in the room, and I knew that it had to be him. Like, I just knew, like, because after he passed away, I felt a presence in that room for the first week that he passed. And I kept saying, like, yo, I'm sorry I didn't get to say bye, but you need to go. Like, wow.
You said that out loud?
Yeah, like I would say, because me and him, like, we were cool, but we weren't that cool. Not like the uncle that you know, mm-hmm. Like, that's different. Yeah. I'd be like, oh yeah, pull up. But like, we were cool, but not that cool. Right. Like, you don't need to come say bye to me like that. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sorry, prayers and all that, but don't pull up. Like, we're not homies like that.
Hell no.
Nah. Like, I'm good. Like, whenever, like, you know, God forbid it happens, and I hope it happens years from now. But when my grandmother passes and she pulls up, it makes sense because she raised me. And
Right. Yeah.
I love her, and then we're not doing it. I'm gonna.
Some
be
family members is like, why are you here? Like,
yeah. Some family.
We never kicked it like that.
Right. There's some family members that if they haunt you, you're just like.
Yeah. Like, this is awkward. Like, what are we going to talk about?
We never spoke. We had nothing to talk about. He used to offer me weed. That was it.
That's it. He's still offering you the weed from beyond the grave.
He's like,
this ghost blunt.
He would always, and I'm like, Theo, I still don't smoke. He's like, it's all right. You could tell me. I'm like, I truly don't smoke. And he's like, all right.
Yeah.
He probably came to Cali like, I heard you got that good shit.
I was waiting for the Cali weed. I had to float out here. You know how hard it is to travel as a ghost?
Is it?
How do you travel as a ghost? State to state. I rose dolo from state to state.
Yeah, I wonder. Right. Or do you know what I always imagine? Like Tupac, right? Let's say Tupac. And let's say his mom still lived in New York, right? Mm-hmm. The moment that Tupac died in Vegas, I felt like he died and then woke up in wherever his mom is. You know what I mean? Like kind of just, you know how they always show stuff like that? Like when people wake up in heaven or whatever like that.
But why wake up with an estranged niece?
Right. Well, also because I guess I'm more open to it. And he's just probably like.
He tapped into whoever was open because everybody else is like, anyway. Oh.
Yeah.
You feel me? You feel me?
Yeah, it was literally like, you feel me? And then after a while, he's like, all right, I'm out of here. You don't care. I was like, I'm sorry I care, but I don't care.
Right. I mean, let's be real, man. You're not connected to every family member.
No.
It's just the way it is.
Choose your hauntings wisely.
Mm-hmm. You're not connected every time.
Yeah. But,
yeah, man. Hey, if y'all got more stories, please send them.
Yes. So it's hauntedouthere@gmail.com. I need you to look at this camera sometimes.
I've been like, boom, 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 pow.
Every time I look over, he's like.
I'm looking down at here. I'm sorry, y'all.
Neglecting the true $1 billion camera over here. So yeah, everybody in the live, it's hauntedouthere@gmail.com. These headphones. Send us your stories. We love to hear them. We're all about it. Anything haunted. Don't make things up because we're going to read it and then we'll call you out on your BS and we'll say your full name and address and everything else. So it's hauntedouthere@gmail.com. Send your stories. Send anything paranormal, even if it's aliens. I like that.
Alien joint, I'm all for.
Yeah, like if you see something in the sky. I was just
in Virginia, and they were talking about that could be an episode we do in the future about Virginia Beach.
Okay.
Because they got a lot of alien activity out there, apparently. Yeah, a lot of visuals.
Yeah.
They got the military there, so they were like, they be seeing stuff.
Right.
In the middle of the ocean.
All right. And that's it.
We out here, y'all.
See you next time. Choose your hauntings wisely.